Welcome to SALCC Updates, a program brought to you by the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College to keep you up to date with all of the events and news from the college. And it's always important for you to stay tuned to us as we bring you information for your own upskilling and for qualifications that you could receive from our local community college, national tertiary institution at various levels. That is the bachelor's, associate degree or certificate levels. So we are in our application period that began at the beginning of March, and we just want to remind you of some important dates. So we'll bring up our calendar that we have shown you over the last couple of weeks to ensure that you are up to date with what's going on. So apart from the application period being open, and you can go to our website at www.salcc.edu.lc to find out more about our programs. We have also organized some information sessions that has been running over a 2-week period. Last week we had quite a number of individuals join us, and we are going to repeat those sessions this coming week, and I'll bring that up for you in a bit. But I also want you to note from the calendar that if you do not have the basic requirement of SALCC, Math and English, which you need for our associate degree and bachelor degree programs, that we will once again have our entrance exam in those 2 subjects, and that is slated for April 28th. And you will need to register for those exams, and you can do that on the website as well, and that registration form is already available. So if you did not write SALCC Math, if you are a secondary school student who has not written Math or English, you're waiting to do so in May or June, that is fine. You can write the exam, and we will grant you early admission in June once you pass the Math and English exam, and we use your transcripts to determine whether you qualify with the rest of your grades. If you are a secondary school leaver, you've been working for a while, then all you would need to do is upload your SALCC certificates onto our portal, and we will evaluate them from there. So we have early admission in June. If for any reason you choose not to write the exams, then we will process your SALCC results, and we will have the regular admission period in August, September, after CXC results have come out. So again, for our informational sessions, we will just bring you the list of programs that are presenting on the various days. So on Tuesday, and if we just bring up the slide with the programs for the Tuesday. Yes, so here are the list of programs that you can access. We have presentations from the various heads of those units as well as the faculty for all of the programs listed here. This is the second time that we are running this, and you can get the Zoom link from our social media pages. We have a link tree where that link will be available, and it's also available on the website as well. So these are the programs listed, and on Thursday we bring you another set of programs, the repeat date being March 10th. So those programs with teacher education and nursing, that is our next slide, is usually more for our adult learners because they do include our professional programs where you are required to be at least 18 years. So that is our health and wellness department, as well as our teacher education department and our professional and lifelong learning. Anyone can access our modern language learning and our digital humanities, new media and creative industries that has some new programs in store in terms of event management and performing arts. So anyone can join those. So go to our website, go to our social media pages to get that Zoom link, and we will be happy to see you on Tuesday or Thursday for us to give you some more information about your choice of program at the college. So this is the main thing that we want to give you a reminder of. Our application deadline is April 30th, but I encourage you to start the application process now. It is an application that can be saved and you can go back to it. So don't wait till the last minute. If you need to write the exam, you would need to have applied to the college before, as your registration number would be the same. So again, if you have any questions, come to our sessions. You can also reach us on our Facebook or Instagram pages and ask your questions there. And we look forward to welcoming you. So what else is new? We're here on Wednesday, and only yesterday we celebrated International Women's Day. And of course, the college was part of those celebrations, and the college hosted a discussion on Tuesday evening with the counseling unit as well as some male guests. And the theme, as you know, for International Women's Day is breaking the bias. And we have so many young women who have done that over the past years. And actually, only recently I met a young lady who is a second-year student in our automotive engineering department. She's the only female in that department. Her name is Shonita Favrier, and I just wanted to recognize and congratulate Shonita, who her lecturers tell me is at the top of her class. She is the best, both in theory and in practical, in her male-dominated program. So congratulations, Shonita Favrier, for breaking the bias and showing how there's gender equality. It's not just about the females, it's also about the males breaking the bias. So that's what we were looking at for International Women's Day. So from last week, we started a new series. It's called Chat with the Alumni. But today, the guest I have is a current student because she is part of the cohort, the first cohort to do our own Bachelor of Education. And she'll be telling you a little more about her experience and also the previous programs that she has done. So she is a bit of an alumni, but she's also a current student. So please, I'd like to welcome Ms. Zarella Filbert to SALCC Updates. Thank you, Zarella, for being here with me today.
You're welcome. Hi, Natalie. Thank you for actually having me here today.
Yes, it's nice to have you. And Zarella, you came highly recommended from the head of your unit, your dean. It was a no-brainer in her saying, Zarella, and this is not the first time, Zarella, that you've come up as the student to represent your division. You were also the MC for our Creole Talent Show, like the Creole Expose.
Correct.
Yes. And we'll be talking a little more about that Creole course, which for us is new and a requirement for you. But before we go into your program and the main topic of discussion, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the theme for International Women's Day, breaking the bias. What has your experience been with that? And as a teacher, how do you see your role in breaking the bias?
I would say the theme is quite relevant, and currently there are a lot of women that are actually breaking that bias. And I must say, as a female who's heading into the classroom, there should be no bias. All students, male and female, should be treated equally and also encouraged to do their best. Also, we have women in fields like agriculture, like myself. I'm actually engaged in some farming, and also at one time I was part of football. So I must say that is such an appropriate theme, breaking the bias.
Great, and it's nice to see that you have the experience in fields that we are still trying to say are non-traditional. And as much as we have female football and we have quite a few female agriculturists, it's still the perception that they are male-dominated. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So Zarella, you are currently a second-year student in the Bachelor of Education program, yes?
Yes, this is correct.
Yes. So before we get there, just give us a little background into your educational journey, particularly as it regards the South Louis Community College.
With regards to my educational journey, I am a past student of the Viewford Comprehensive Secondary School, A-level and secondary. And from there, I actually did part-time courses with the South Louis under the Associate's degree in Business Administration. Right now, I am actually in the second year of the B.Ed program, which I am proud to be. And I would say that it is taking me one step further in the right direction to achieving my goals.
Tell me about the switch from business administration to teacher education. And you did start your business administration with the South Campus, right?
Yes, with the Southern Campus. Actually, my passion and my dream has always to become a teacher. I made several attempts to actually apply and become a teacher as well as the Teachers College, but it was unsuccessful. I, however, did not allow that to deter me from achieving my goals, and it so happened that I tried 2 years, and teacher training was actually not available at this time, and I waited. And upon the commencement, I reapplied, and there it was that I got through, because some persons would ask me, why now? Why at age 47? But I say, with determination, there is nothing that can stop you from actually achieving your goals. Yes.
So this is what you do. You know that you want to be in the classroom.
Yes, this is what I'd like to do. I actually have a lot of vast experience with the youth. I actually volunteered at a preschool before I actually had my first job. I have worked with the youth, with football, also with volunteering as a Nemo rep and with the St. Lucia Red Cross. So yes, this is what I actually want to do and I am passionate about.
What is your preference for the educational level that you want to teach?
I love to work with the younger ones. So you start from young, you actually mold them, you guide them. So yes, this is where I actually want to start.
So early childhood, primary education,
Correct.
That would be the area. That takes a special talent. Huh? It's not everybody that can do it. As a teacher myself,
Yes, actually growing up as a child, I remember when I reflect my primary school years and even at the secondary level, most of my teachers, they would tell me that, you know, you would make a good teacher. Even whilst at the supermarket, people would refer to me as a teacher, not knowing that I am actually not at the time. So I would say it is something that maybe, in fact, that I am suited for.
That is your calling.
Yes.
That is your calling. Great. Now, you said earlier, and maybe just for clarification, that there was a time when you applied that the college actually did not offer teacher education or teacher certification. There was a break.
Yes.
And that was actually because we were developing the Bachelor of Education program, because that has become the standard for teachers. Before, the certification was enough just as an associate degree, but worldwide, the standard is now a Bachelor of Education, and the Ministry of Education saw it fit for the tertiary institution in St. Lucia to have their teachers at the international standard. So it's great. Maybe things happen for a reason that you are now part of the first cohort of the bachelors. And 2 years straight into COVID.
Yes.
Tell me what that experience has been like for you.
This experience has been challenging. However, I always believe in looking at the positive side of things. COVID actually forced persons to adapt to the online modality. I actually do miss the face-to-face sessions where I would come in, meet with my colleagues as well as the lecturers. But with SALCC Lewis, the platform is available. Also, information is readily available. And I am able to, in fact, do other things in terms of the digital tools, digital literacy. So I must say that COVID actually made something good. Like it enabled you as an individual to recognize your full potential. Because
there's a lot of independent learning that you have to do when you're online.
That's correct.
But there's a lot of support as well from your lecturers.
Correct. The lecturers, also your peers, even with the admin staff. If you're not sure, there is the e-learning unit. There's also the library services. So I must say that all in all, yes, the support is great.
Great. So we need to take a short break, Zarella, but when we come back, we'll delve a little more into certain aspects of the program that appeal to you, and we will find out where your journey will take you. So stay tuned. We are speaking to Zarella Filbert here on SALCC Updates. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to broaden your career opportunities? Future-proof your career with a bachelor's degree from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. We've introduced new cutting-edge degree programs in Environmental Studies and Sustainability, Tourism and Hospitality, Business Administration, and Public Health. Online platforms are making it easier than ever before to further your education and mask your competitive advantage. This is the game changer you've been waiting for. Get the highest return on your investment in UECS from the college you trust. Visit salcc.edu.lc. Apply today for September 2021.
Applications, although I am versed with.
Welcome back to SALCC Updates. We are here having a chat with one of our current students who is part of the Bachelor of Education program. Her name is Zarella Filbert, and she is a second-year student and part of the first cohort of that program. Thank you for staying with us, and we will continue our chat with Zarella, who was just telling us about starting this program in a COVID environment, and despite the challenges, that there are sufficient support structures that has kept her going. And she spoke about the e-learning department and library services. You want to expand a little bit on that, Zarella, before?
Sure. I must say that library services, SALCC Lewis is investing a lot of money into providing those resources for students. I know a lot of persons do not actually take advantage of them, but they should, because the library actually assists you with conducting your research. And we know now with education, plagiarism is a big thing. Also, you could borrow your books. Even being in the south and the library, the main library is in the north, they would make alterations. In fact, send books down for me in Viewfort where I can collect and also I can return. So I do not physically have to come to the north to get it done. With the e-learning service. That
is a great service.
Yes.
I just need to pause here and give library praise for that. So they send it to the South Campus?
Yes, they would actually transfer it. Once you communicate with them, the team, they would actually do that for you. So.
What about the online resources that they have? I know there's a database called, I think, EBSCOhost.
Yes.
Are you able to get some resources out of that as well?
Yes, actually, I use EBSCOhost. There are other areas that you could actually use, the platforms other than EBSCOhost. There's also Alexandria. I think of late we've had our local one that with Derek Walcott. So you could actually get a lot of information, especially if you're doing local stuff, you can do that. And with the library services, they actually have different incentives, because right now there is a competition for a word up composition challenge, and I have actually registered despite my hard schedule. I will participate, yes.
Yes, library has been doing a phenomenal job of keeping themselves very relevant and very visible, because they understand the role that libraries play in higher education. So I really want to give them a shout out for that. Yes. Yes, and tell us about now the e-learning unit.
Okay, with the e-learning, I would actually send them an email and they would be there for you. So if you're having an issue with accessing the platform, it could be even with SONIS, the e-learning unit would assist you, student services as well. And I also want to recognize the financial department. They too, I would actually contact them and they would assist, as well as the counseling unit, because they provide you with options. For instance, there is a financial aid if you're having an issue. Even with studying, the counseling unit, they will be there for you.
And let me just say, full disclosure, I didn't ask Zarella to say any of these things. This is her experience of the college. And yes, we do have all of those support services, and we encourage the students to make use of them. So I know the counseling unit is always ready. I mean, they're confidential, so you don't know all of the happenings. But they actually put on the International Day Women's Talk. So we have some hard-working units. So that's great. I want to get a little bit more into the Bachelor of Education program, given that it's new. Tell me about some of the courses that stand out for you.
Some of the courses that I've actually undertaken and successful in all of them so far, I would look at the Creole, which I love. Also looking at technology in teaching and learning. Also, a survey into our own St. Lucian history.
Dr. Fulgence will be happy to hear that. So I'm going to take those down. The Creole program, is that a required course for you, or you took it as an elective?
It is actually a required course. We were informed that is the very first time being offered, and I love Creole because Creole is part of our culture and part of our everyday life. Gone are the days when my older siblings were actually discouraged or even beaten for speaking Creole, but now with SALCC Lewis, it actually helped me with my vocabulary and even writing. So yes, the Creole, and I believe now in education, a lot of our learners, they actually expose more to Creole in addition to the standard English. And even with the Ministry of Education through the CAMDU, they actually receive funding, and with the national policy for the country, I think it is quite fitting, because even with the students, you can liaise with their parents. Some of them may not be versed in English, may be uncomfortable. So we use it to our advantage to ensure that we assist the learners to do their best.
That's great. Yes. That is great. So there's a literacy in the Creole, because you sound like you're already a fluent Creole speaker. but there's the reading and the writing.
The writing, that's
curriculum.
correct, yes.
And I know one of the thrust of the new B.Ed program was for it to educate a 21st century teacher. And I hear you talk about technology in education. That's another course that you have to do within the program?
Yes, actually I did that course in the earlier semester of the year. And this course, I must say, is an eye-opener. Some of the things that you already know, however, it helps you to be prepared, because we know right now with the learners, we have a lot of challenges because COVID-19 indeed had face-to-face setting. In fact, it was suspended, and also a lot of students were actually home for a long time. So with that, it actually teaches you as a teacher how to use those different tools, for instance, with the Google Classrooms. So if you're not familiar with it, it might be difficult and perhaps the learners might be affected. But when you're qualified and you actually learn those skills, you could be better able to deliver and ensure success. Yes.
Great. And the survey of St. Lucian history, that is also a compulsory course for you?
Yes, it is. Because we were taught differently, but I believe as a people, we should know our history and also the generation who's actually coming up so that they could actually learn and know what it was like. Because history, like Dr. Fulgence will say, it is now, it's not just the past. So I would say yes.
Okay. So these seem to be courses outside of your major, your education training, that sort of support everything that you should do in education, yes?
Yes, they're actually related, because even whilst you do certain courses, some things that come out from others, you could see the link and they're related. Because I'm actually specializing in social studies, and history is an area that I am passionate about also. So yes, they are actually very important.
And as I'm speaking about, we're talking about education, one of the things I want to do is give a voice to students and alumni of Sir Arthur in terms of the whole contribution of education to national development. You're now being trained as a teacher, but when you look at education in St. Lucia, what would you like to see done differently? What is your perspective on education in St. Lucia?
Education in St. Lucia, I would say it's at a critical stage right now. I am actually at teaching practice now, and some of the things that I notice is that we need the support, not just from the teachers, however, from the parents. So in terms of policy, in terms of persons encouraging the young ones, because some of them, they need that support in terms of not just the academics, but other aspects like the hidden curriculum, the manners. So a lot of that, I must say, is one of the things that we need to actually address and ensure that persons who are teachers, that you give it your all. I do not believe that teaching should just be for the salary. I believe persons should come in and work with the leaders, work with other teachers, and as well as our educational leaders.
Are you looking forward to coming back into a face-to-face environment come the new academic year?
Actually, yes. I love the face-to-face. However, I will work with what I have and make the best out of it. It's about being solution-oriented. So, yes, so we have to work with what we have. Yes.
I guess that's the positive spirit that your dean saw. That's why you are representing your division. So that is great. Zarella, in terms of you alluded to teaching practice. So you're in your second year and you've had some theoretical courses, but you're also having your practicals as well. Can you speak a little bit to that part of the program?
Yes, actually it is the teaching practice. It is one of the requirements being part of the program. And since I have actually not been teacher trained, with this program, the teaching practice actually helps. Now, one thing that I particularly is enthusiastic about is that of classroom management and learning the environment, and also effective planning. Yes, so I need to master those skills. So currently, the first practicum is actually assisting with that aspect.
What school are you situated at?
I am situated at Piero Combine, which is the primary school in my community, and I must say they have welcomed me. All of the teachers, including the principal, they have embraced me, and it is fun learning whilst I'm actually there with them. Yes.
And do you have lecturers from the college supervising and monitoring your work there?
Yes, actually, I am assigned to one lecturer who's actually my supervisor, which will be coming into the school to actually observe and assess and help us in improving that craft.
In the past, one of the aspects of the Teacher Ed program, apart from doing your practical teaching, was research. Is that also a component of the new bachelor's program?
Yes, I believe, yes, it is part of the bachelor's program. I have actually started thinking of topics that I would actually want to embark on. So, yes.
Do you want to give us an idea of where you're thinking of doing your research?
Actually, I'm looking at the environment. I'm also thinking in line of relevance, like with COVID, the impact that it actually has on the teachers, perhaps like, the different stakeholders. So I'm actually looking at this aspect. I'm looking at citizenship education. So I'm actually crafting it along that line.
Yes, I guess with your focus on social studies,
that's correct, yes.
that would be something that you want to focus on. Great. So you've given us some really, really positive feedback. Is there any, though, area of improvement or an area that there can be greater accessibility that you would like to see from the college?
Currently, I must say my experience with the college, I have had a good experience. So I am not particularly, in fact, needing assistance presently. However, I must say coming to the Teachers College, it's a new experience and the lecturers are good. What I need though is collaboration from team members, like we stay together and persons should work as a team, because with college life, this is one of the things that we engage in. It teaches us how to, collaborate, be communicative. So these are some of the things that we need at the level as students to work together. Because for me, I think my life as a student, not only now, is sharing. Because someone may be struggling, then yes, it is nice to actually help them. So that support system. And one thing that I noticed coming into the program, we have the mentorship program. And this one actually, it's a little bit quiet now. So if there's anything that needs to be worked on, I would say the mentorship program, where you have a support person to encourage you, because sometimes it's hard, especially when you have all the assignments, when you realize the deadlines, perhaps persons are not coming through together. So, just to assist you, the mentorship program, I think, is what needs. Yes,
definitely. I hope that message is the Teacher Ed actually spearheaded that pre-COVID. They started that mentorship program, so that's a great way to sort of bring our program to a close. But I want to give you an opportunity, especially since we are in the application period. Final words and appeal to young people out there. You are more mature, but just to make them understand the value of having tertiary education.
What I can tell them is education, you should value it. You may lose a vehicle, you may lose a house, but your education, no one can take it away from you. And SALCC is indigenous to us, so take advantage of that right now. Being with SAFA, it will actually save you on cost. You not have to travel overseas. You have the opportunity of actually studying and working. Also, the platform is user-friendly. There's also training available. You have great support staff from admin with the lecturers. Also, with SAFA, I will tell you that you get payment plans. So financially, you don't have to worry and say, how would I do it? You have options. They actually guide you. And in terms of that, you know that once you go through your education process, you actually learn. So in addition to you would have that experience, and most employers, they always want to know that they're hiring someone who has great personality, someone who's actually trained. So yes, I will encourage persons to take advantage of that. Yes.
Thank you so very much, Zarella, for being our guest today. You were fantastic, a great motivator and an inspiration for young people. This has been SALCC Updates. See you again next Wednesday, same time, 8:30 p.m. right here on NTN. Thank you for staying tuned. Stay safe.